is average. Now let's look at that last grouping where you have Dak Prescott, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Derek Carr, you have Jared Goff. This is the cutoff for average. If there are roughly 24 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, I say 24 because roughly 8 teams have a starter one week, a backup the next week. He becomes the starter. If there are roughly 24 or 25 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, then average cuts off right around Derek Carr. Huge game this week. Whole world watching Dak Prescott. To me, what is on the line? Is he actually above average, or is he just average? We're going to find out here in about 3 days. Let me come to the desk. You like that, Defy?
Bro, that was well done, man. I had him run like 13, but 13, 14. That was well done.
Shady, then let me come to you, big dog.
Surprising order.
What's on the line for Dak Prescott against the Eagles this weekend facing a backup quarterback?
Just that, right? The respect. Now, I think both of these teams will go to the playoffs, but it's a respect thing. Now, listen, people love Dak. I will say this. I don't know if it's because the Cowboys are one of the most favorite franchises in sports history, but they love Dak, and they love to back him up and to defend him. But you can't defend 10 picks in 7 games. Now you playing 9 games, 11 picks. You can't defend that. So this game is more about respect. You can't, as much as you love a guy, you can't defend that. So he has to go out there and put some points up and look efficient, right? No more turnovers, a clean game. I haven't seen a clean game with Dak, even the ones they won. That Texas game was close. That was tight. So we got to see some more efficient play from Dak Prescott, or he might drop from 13 to 15 to 16.
So on. Dave, what's on the line for Dak? ...
What world do we live in where the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is defended and have people go to bat for him? I mean, Cowboy fans do. I think that's what you're talking about.
Tony Dungy,
I think that's what. That's fair.
He stood up for him.
I'll give you Coach
Shady McCoy,
Hall of
Dak
Famer.
Prescott.
I think here's the thing, and I don't like to do this stuff in mid-season, and this is why. Dak is struggling in a way that I'm not used to seeing him struggle. Heading into this season, only 3 active quarterbacks, 2 of whom are going to the Hall of Fame, had a better interception rate than him. Passes that they threw that were intercepted, like the percentage of their throws. He's not playing that well this year. But then you look at a list like that, you've got guys on there that have done it 1 year. Dak's been doing this for 5, 6 years. You realize by making the playoffs last weekend, which ironically they did it after a loss, if you don't include the year he got hurt, which I don't know how you could because he got hurt in October, so he basically missed 3/4 of the season. If you don't include the year he got hurt, I don't know why you're looking at me like that. This will be his 4th trip to the playoffs in 6 seasons. I'm just saying, Dak has been here and done this to a degree that quite a few of the guys on that list have not done yet. And they are more talented than him. Tua, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, whatever. Dak has done things that guys on this list haven't done yet. Now, having said that, having said all of that, it all counts toward your resume. Whatever. I mean, the point being, the biggest feather in Dak Prescott's cap right now is that reliability, especially in the NFC East. He's 26-6 as a starter against the NFC East. He's 7-3 against the Eagles. He owns that division. They don't win it every year, and they didn't win it the year that he got hurt.
Okay.
But he owns the NFC East. If he can't beat the Eagles in a game at home where they're starting a backup quarterback, it puts a big ding in the best thing that he does. And honestly, and especially if he plays poorly in this game, if he throws multiple interceptions, I'll find a way to defend him, but it'll be hard. It'll be really hard.
You see that, though? They love to defend him. You talking about all this year. He took it all the way back to last year. And 40, 50 games. We don't care. We talking about right now, this year.
Your resume doesn't matter toward what you do.
We talking about right now, today.
I'm going to remind you.
I don't know what happens tomorrow.
I'm going to remind you of this. I promise you I will.
Joy, what do you need to see from Dak Prescott?
Shady's crazy. He needs to have a mistake-free game. Shady said it. You need to play a clean game. We keep talking about these turnovers. And Shady, they do defend the turnovers, because how many of these turnovers were it actually Dak's fault and the receiver actually tipped it up to the other person?
That's a new category.
6.
That's a new category. They just put that in there now. It's a new category. Yeah.
That is a stat. It's charted by PFF.
What?
People pay for that.
You see what I'm saying? What is that? I live in a real world with real football. What is that? It's a pick or it's not. It's a touchdown or it's not. It's a fumble or it's not.
If you can watch tape and determine what happened on the tape, that doesn't count. Okay, it's fine. It is a stat, though.
Now we watching tape?
I'll show it to you.
I'm sorry, Joy. I don't know, because some days we want to watch tape.
No, I'm telling you that so half of those interceptions don't count.
Oh, You know, he has the most.
I agree.
He loves to talk about how great he is on third downs.
I don't
He is?
respectfully don't agree, but they are going to defend him by saying that. Listen, I like Dak more than most. I've always been a big Dak defender. I think he's overachieved. I think he did more for the Cowboys than he was paid for through the first 4 years of his
I agree with that.
career. And he has more to prove in the postseason. Like, if he's really this guy, then he's got to do it in the postseason. That's what the expectations are at this point, and based off of the performances that he's had throughout his career. But this is a problem. Turning the ball over like this is a problem. Even if you don't want to count all the interceptions or not, they happen.
It is a problem.
And the turnovers.
Oh, okay.
I've said it's a problem on this show.
Let's say half of them aren't. Then the wide receivers need to get it together.
Right.
Yes.
You need to get them some sticky.
Somebody needs some blame, right.
All right. Somebody turned the ball over.
Right.
Whether it was Dak or the wide receivers.
yeah.
So we need to change the prompter to what the wide receivers need to do, I guess.
Right.
Even though I don't agree with that. But somebody needs to get some sticky on the fingers and figure it out.
Okay.
No more popcorn before the games.
Fair.
Right? We got to figure this out. Because that ball is going to the other team.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. The most.
Whoever's fault it is.
The most.
Somebody's got to fix that. As far as Dak goes, play a clean game, beat the Eagles with their backup quarterback. At this point in the season, you need to be playing ball at that level. This is a gift that Jalen Hurts is not out there for them.
Yeah,
So go
a
take
big
advantage
gift.
of it.
Dave, we've all been in situations relationally, whether with friends, whether romantic partners, whatever the case may be, we've all been in situations where you want to believe the best for them. And you want to believe the best in them. There's something we do as humans calling defaulting to truth. Read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Talking to Strangers. There's something we do defaulting to truth, where you just assume the best of somebody until there's such overwhelming evidence that what you are assuming is in fact incorrect. You are assuming that this is not Dak Prescott. You're assuming that this version of Dak Prescott, 10 interceptions in 7 games, 11 interceptions in 9 games, you are assuming this is not him. You are defaulting to truth. But what is the point of overwhelming evidence where you're finally like, you know what? This actually is Dak Prescott, and what I've tried to believe is no longer true.
So here, this is not a take for TV because it's just very gray. I mean, like I'm not going to just jump on one bandwagon or the other. This is who Dak is right now. And I have an overwhelming amount of evidence that it's not who he is historically. Again, his interception rate for his career entering Sunday's game against Jacksonville was 1.9. 1.9% of his throws get picked. That's better than Mahomes. It's like I said, Rodgers is like the only guy that's better than that for his career. It's up at 4 right now. Wow. That is a massive, massive difference. I would argue, and again, if y'all think I'm making an excuse, that's totally fine. I would argue it's the personnel around him. When you trade an Amari Cooper, when you don't have a James Washington, which wasn't an adequate signing in the first place, when your third-round pick that you draft at receiver to offset the loss of Amari Cooper hasn't played a meaningful role this entire season.
But he has had personnel this mediocre before. 2018, before they traded for Amari Cooper.
He looked really bad.
So then,
And then they got
2 Pro Bowlers.
Amari Cooper.
But if he was not throwing interceptions at this rate at any point in his career, even 2016-17 Dak Prescott had an aging Des Bryant and a slot Cole Beasley. So, Dave, I'm just wondering, are you still hopeful for salvation that's not coming? Amari Cooper is not coming back.
Yeah, he gone.
When the season is over, and if I had to guess, it's not going to end any differently than any other Cowboys season in the last 26 years. When the season is over, the Cowboys have some not even decisions to make. They have to make some improvements on their offense. Oh, my God, Dak can't do it alone. He's not good enough to do it alone. Nobody is. Neither is Jalen Hurts. Neither is Patrick Mahomes. They have to surround him with more talent if they want him to go back to playing like the guy that I think he is. I do think that's true.
You know, this line of thinking is how spies slip by. You know?
What do you mean?
They have
Excuses.
4.
We'll talk about it.
They got 4. They got 4 Pro Bowls on the offense, right? I don't want to be wrong.
Zach Martin,
2 linemen,
Tony Pollard.
Barler, CeeDee Lamb.
Who's the second lineman?
Was the guard?
Oh, just Zach.
It's
So
just
Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, 3, okay, with 3 guys in.
They're 29th in
I
the
am
league in pass
fascinated by
protection.
this. Do the Cowboys not have enough talent around Dak? Because when you look at Mahomes and the quote-unquote talent around him, there's Travis Kelce. We obviously know that. But do the Cowboys not have, in your mind, enough talent around Zach? Kirk Cousins has Justin Jefferson, but we know Thielen is not who he once was. Dalvin Cook is the equivalent to Tony Pollard, and Tony Pollard probably better. Do they still not have enough talent?
Is there a skill position among the, we'll call them contenders, even though, I mean, I don't really think the Cowboys are contenders the way that they look right now. But is there, among that group, would you take the Cowboys' skill position players over anyone?